Right. Today we'll see how to integrate a project, especially Spring Boot project with GitHub and GitLab. Before proceeding with the task, just ensure that you download and install Git software in your system. So just type Git software download and just go to first link. You will see three different types of operating system. You choose any one based on your operating system in your laptop. Then the latest version is 2.47.0. Once installation is done successfully, it's just next only, right? There is no typical window where, which option to be selected on all. After that, we just need to check the version, whether it is successfully installed or not in your system by using git space hyphen space version. Command prompt, open git space hyphen version, right? Perfect. I didn't install the latest one. It is a older version only. I'm okay with that. 2.3.41. Right. After that, we just need to, before going to create a repository in GitHub, let me just to choose which project to be pushed into my GitHub. I'm just going to take the first project only, Spring Boot Hello World project. There is no discussion about the code part and all. I'm just going to show you how to push any code which maybe contains JSP files or any kind of code we can directly push into your GitHub. So I'm just going to choose this. So right click on this, show in terminal or directly show in local terminal. Any option you can choose. Right. Now it's just got opened in a specific path of the project. The first thing is like git space init to initialize the Git repository. And then we just need to create one origin. For that purpose, let us all create one repository in the GitHub. Create new repository. Spring Boot Hello World project. You can just give any. Let's take for example Spring Boot demo project. Okay, Spring Boot demo project. The visibility public or private. I recommend you to go with private only because if the project is already done, if you want anyone to see your project, then go with public. But if you are still if you are working on your projects as a team, as a collaborator, because the purpose of GitHub is you can just collaboratively work on same repository and with the version management system and all. That is a very important point in GitHub. So until your project is completed, don't go with public so that anyone can see your project and they can take the code. So go with private only. Add README file to add the description, all the important points and all. Created. So just go to code and copy this HTTPS link. Now the command is git space remote space add space origin. Right. So let me copy this, paste here. Right. Sometimes you may get error, something like if you just try to do creation of origin again and all, maybe you just want to create a separate repository uh, due to some issues and all, like you created second repository and you want to create the origin again. In that case, if you want to do this again, you will get error called as remote origin already exists. In that case, you just delete the existing one by using git space remove space origin. So how to delete the existing origin? Git space remove space origin. Origin is something like where your GitHub repository. To that you're going to push and pull the code. And then you just add all the files by using, I think I removed, so I just need to create again. Perfect. Git space add space dot. Sometimes you'll get this warning. No need to worry about that. Just do it again. Git space add space dot. So in order to add all the files, so dot means current directory or folder. After just adding, we just need to commit it by using git space commit space -m space the message here. So the command is git space commit space -m space message, some message. After any modification, even if it's a single modification also, you just need to commit the changes. If you don't commit the changes, you can't push, or you can't push the code into your GitHub repository. Done. And one point here is like, I just want to highlight one point. Before commit, I just want to do the setting of your username and the email addresses. How to do that? Git space config space hyphen hyphen global space user dot name is equal name space. Let me just check what is the existing name and all by using git space log. So the name is showing is like this, and the email address. Let me just change it to JSK for example, and the git space config space hyphen hyphen global space user dot email. Let me just go ahead with the previous mail ID only. All right. So let me just copy this and paste here. Perfect, it is working properly. And the email. Now, if I just check the git log, you can't see the updated name. For the next commit, we'll see. Okay. But I suggest you to set this name and email before going to proceed with the first commit. Okay. Otherwise, the previous values will be like sometimes if you're doing for the first time, it will ask you to set the name and email separately. Yeah. As I was doing all these things and all since a long ago. So that's why I'm not getting that option to update my name and email. It's just taken the previous values only. Then git push origin master is the main branch in my case. All right, let me refresh this. I think you're in a main branch. Just change it to master branch now. Perfect, you just got this. Now let me just modify the code accordingly. Let's see this. So which project we have just taken? Hello world, right? In the hello world, let's just go to Java resources, Spring Boot. Here I Spring Boot is there. I think initially high Spring Boot is there. Let me just open that file. Okay. Let's remove high GitHub, high Git, for example, three dots. Just by changing here, you can't expect the modifications to be updated here directly. We need to do all the commits, everything and all. So first option, git space add space dot, it is very important. So I just got error, LF will be replaced by, don't worry about that. Just do it again, git space add space dot. Perfect. Then let's just check the git status. So we just need to ensure these changes to be committed. So let's choose committed by using commit message. No need to create origin again. Let's do the steps again. No need to do git init again. No need to create origin again. Of course, we need to add the files because you modified. If you modify or if you create, you need to add the files. And no need to set the username and email every time. If you want to change your name for every commit, you can. And of course, you need to commit the message. Without commit, you can't push the code again. So the message is updated. Now let me just check the git log now. Let's see what is updated name now. Right, it is showing JSK and the same email addresses. Right. Now, no need to use git push origin master and all. One time is enough by mentioning the branch name. From second time onwards, you can directly use git push. But sometimes if you get this error, there is no need to do, there is no other way. Of course, you can do origin master, right? But I think most of the cases, you no need to mention origin master. I'm damn sure about this git space push. But in some systems, if you show like error like this, uh, you mention the current branch also, that is master. Done. Like first, let me just go back. So we just got updated. message. So let's see whether which one is updated. Right, hi Git, it's got updated. Now what we'll do is like, let's just try to push command. For example, there is a one person who just updated this GitHub repository. You added one of the fellow as a collaborator to your project by using the settings like collaborators, add people. Let me type the email address of, I think, let me just check the, right, invitation sent. So he can take this project into his local repository. Then he can do all the operations. He can also push the code into this repository. But my point here is like, before going to push his repository, I mean the code and all, first he need to take my project into his local repository. So what he need to do first? He just need to pull the code. First he need to pull the code so that the existing repository code will be sent to his local repo. So GitHub Git repo to local repo. Then he will do all the changes and all. Then he will again push his code into my main repository. What is that? Git local repo to Git repo, right? So that means when you are working with the project, I mean, when multiple people are working on the same project, first we need to ensure that we have updated code from the GitHub repository. Then we can do all the changes, then push the code. So my suggestion is like, first go with the pull command and then go with the push. If you are the first person, of course, push command is the first as per the order. And then let's think that that second fellow has changed the code in the one of the file. For example, server main resources application or properties. He just changed the port number as, for example, 2000. Let me click on commit update. Updated application or properties. My commit message, it will be directly committed to master branch. I'm okay with that. Save, done. Now here, if I open my resources file, it will be previous one only, 2024. So let me just take that. So what is the command? Git push, sorry, pull means GitHub repository to local repository master. We just got it. Sometimes if this command is getting failed, you can use other commands also, like to ensure that the pulling will be done forcefully by using the first command. Normal command is git pull origin master, or in short git pull. I think previously I didn't, yeah, let me write the push command also. Git push origin master, or simply git push also. Sometimes it will ask you to mention the branch name. And sometimes if it is not pulling the code, then you can use master force, right, also. Sometimes you can use git pull hyphen. It will ensure that there are no merge conflicts and all. So it will take the code from the GitHub repository to what we call. So these last two commands you can just try when you get any kind of errors when you're pulling the code. Okay. Now I think I just got the updated code. So now the port number is 2000. Perfect. Now, now let me just modify again from my side. So now it is hi git from Spring Boot. So let me open this file and be ready with this main. Initially it is hi git only. Okay. So the changes will be, for example, let me just directly go with push command. What will happen? Everything is up to date. Let me refresh. Okay. Let's do git space add space dot, git space add space dot, git commit, that is the message updated, git log 3 git log. What happened? Okay. Then let me just try to push the code after changes. Right. Refresh. Guide. Yeah, perfect. So like this, you can just upload. If you want microservices, then create multiple projects and upload it, so that we can use this GitHub repo link to deploy while deploying the project. Okay, that's why I just shown you how to push the code and all like this. And the next part, let me just do the same steps for the GitLab also. GitLab. GitLab is something like it's the best example for Scrum and all agile methodology, where you can create all these Scrum milestones, everything and all. So just create the account initially. Generally, my suggestion is like create a account. I mean, use the same mail ID for the both GitHub and GitLab also. Click on sign in. A verification code sent to my mail. Just wait a second. 1 second. 9 2. Right. Now let's create a new project. Create a blank project. Project name Spring Boot project. You can just create this project as a group and as an individual also. If you want, you can create a group and you can give this project access to your group also directly. Okay. So that's why it is asking you to choose either user, that is you, and the groups also. I'm just going with the user, my username / project name. Deployment group where you're going to deploy Kubernetes or Heroku or Jenkins or GitHub lab pages. Nothing. I'm just going with nothing. So it is optional to choose the deployment target. Private or public, I'm just going with private, no problem. Initialize repository, create repository. Perfect. All right. Same commands, no change. The difference between GitHub and GitLab is GitHub is something like individual and individual and collaborators also. GitLab is something like you can create all the issues and the milestones, everything and all like a Scrum technology. It will follow all the Scrum technology where you can create issues and milestones, sprint that is minimum 2 weeks duration like that. Yeah. I think we can just copy this one gitlab.com. I think I'll so the normal steps only. First we need to do init. I think init is already there. Git remote add origin. Of course we'll get error. I'm okay with that. I'll show you that error. Paste. Right. So we got the error. So how to remove this? Git space remote space remove origin. Now let's right and git space add space dot git space commit space -m space version 1.0 git space add space. Okay, I think I added a new lab, right? Nothing to commit. Okay, git push origin master. Okay, let's refresh this. Master, right? Perfect. Same. So GitHub and GitHub, you can use anything. Just generally people will go with GitLab only, but the use of GitLab is you can just go with agile life cycle methodology, like we call it as Scrum. So you guys can create issues and then milestones. We call it as sprint. Generally, sprint duration is 2 weeks, like 1 week accordingly, according to your task and all. You can manage all the milestones, activities, and members, everything and all. Like, so this is how we can, these are the different commands where you can push and pull the code accordingly, right? So in the next video, I'll just show you how to deploy this project, and there are many deployment parts and all. I'll just show you how to deploy this Spring Boot project with AWS EC2 instance and with Docker and Jenkins. We call it as CI/CD pipeline. Okay, that means the one best part of this demo is whenever you just modify the code, then push the code in GitHub, automatically it will observe the, it will trigger the changes and it will automatically deploy it. You can see the updated version of your project also. You don't need to every time push the code everything and all. Just, I mean, you need to create I mean, when some people will do like a manual process and repeated process, something like whenever they do any changes and all. But in the CI/CD pipeline, if I just create a pipeline and whenever any changes there, that will be triggered automatically, right? So we'll see that in the next now video, which will include the deployment of the Spring Boot application also. Thank you so much, and thank you for your support. Thank you.